Hello and welcome to the TCF Morning Show. It is Tuesday, December 17th. Unfortunately, we went a little later than we thought. I got caught up with a few buddies, so we were watching some old high school tapes. You know how I can go. Us old dudes. Thinking back on the old days. I went to my first high school basketball game in a long time. Shout out to our guy Nick Gons. Got a big-time JV win tonight for the Mendota Trojans. But it always
they threw him like a 40 burger.
Yeah, I think it was like 40 or something like that.
My God.
You gotta love seeing that. But whenever you go to a high school game, it always brings back the old days when you used to. I mean, I played not really at all at Ivy, but the atmosphere of a high school basketball game is some of my favorite times that I can remember from back in the high school days.
As the kids say, it just hits different.
It does. I mean, if you really think about it, you didn't go to a small town, but it was still like a small town. Yeah. High school basketball games, there's nothing better. All family, friends, all that kind of stuff. But let's get into it. First of all, thank you to our sponsors, The Muddy Otter. Go to themuddyotter.com. Right here is a beautiful mug they made for us with the little logo at the – oh, I always put it the wrong way. At the bottom there. Thank you to Hannah and Mitch Prentice. If you go to Instagram or Facebook, just go to The Muddy Otter. They always have all their updates on there. If you're still looking for your holiday gifts, we got 8 days, people. 8 days till Christmas, so go on to themuddyotter.com. Get all your last-minute gifts there. Like I said, thank you to The Muddy Otter. We love you. But our first subject here, it's a tough one. I was talking with our guy, Pat Beals, at the Mendota game tonight. He asked me if I had got a bet on the Bulls. No, unfortunately. Thank God I did not. I think they actually may have covered, actually. I don't know. But
yeah, they did.
They had about 24-point lead at one point. End up blowing it. They lose 109 to 106 to the Oklahoma City Thunder. I told Boomy a stat before here. Chris Paul, 19 points in the fourth quarter. The Chicago Bulls, 16 points in the fourth quarter. Chris Paul ends up with 30 points, and the Thunder pull off a big-time, not upset, but from what the game was, 24 points deficit. It's one of those things, it just gets to be one of these, the Blackhawks blow a lead, now the Bulls blow a lead. You can't trust either team. It's starting to get very, very annoying. Boomy's thoughts on the game tonight?
I mean, are we really surprised by this? We talked, and check out our podcast dropping today. We talked kind of ad nauseum about this. The Bulls are playing well defensively. They're like 10th in the NBA defensively, but 28th or 26th or 28th in the NBA offensively. So the fact that they couldn't finish it out,
not surprising. Not surprising.
It's just not something you get surprised by right now with a team that's so young and not able to click things together. And that kind of goes, I mean, you talk about high school basketball, like how many teams are going through it right now. You got to learn how to lose as well as learn how to win. And the Bulls found a way to lose tonight. And it's just frustrating because they are in the East Coast, like we talked ad nauseum about. They're in the East Coast. They're only 3 games out of the 8th seed, which if you're going to make a run, you got to start, building that foundation now. And if you're going to blow 24-point leads, that's not how you prepare yourself for that kind of situation and get at least back into some sort of a quote unquote playoff race. But man, it's not surprising, but it's sad that it's not surprising at this point.
You waste a 39-point effort from Zach LaVine out there tonight.
Yeah, dude.
You get Denzel Valentine, 10 points off the bench. I know that's not much, but he looks like he's getting back into it. Wendell Carter, 12 points. Lauri Markkanen, 13 points. Kind of seems like where Lauri Markkanen's kind of stuck around. But you waste a big-time performance by Zach LaVine. And you waste a game in Oklahoma City where you could kind of turn maybe some momentum. I don't know where momentum is going to turn for this team, but now you're going to look at it. You just blew a freaking 24-point lead. There's not a lot of time to – you can look up at it, but it's one of those things you're going to look back at it this season and go, these are the wins we needed, and this is the reason we may not even get in the playoffs in a division where the 8th seed may not be over 500. That's about it.
And like we talked, I mean, like look at it now. Like you make a little bit. You move to 10 and 19, which you look at it and you're like, man, that's not good. But like I said, you're only 3 games out of an 8 seed. And how many games is this now that the Bulls have blown like 15-plus point leads? I can remember at least 3 to 4. You're talking now you're back to 14 and 14-ish. You're sitting around 500. Shit, that's a playoff spot at this point in the East. So if you're going to continue to blow these close ones, like those are the games that are going to cost you. When you finish, 2 games out of the 8 seed and you've blown 6, 7, 8 games where you were up 15 to 20 points, like that's the reason you're not in the playoffs. That's so frustrating.
It just really gets to be frustrating and annoying. All the above here for the Bulls. Another game where you just kind of look at the head coach, look at the team, and you go, "What are you guys doing?" This is just a game that, like I said, Pat turned to me and he said, "What do you think about the game?" And I said, "I think they're gonna blow it." And he kind of agreed with me because you can't. It is a team you just can't trust, and going forward, you're not going to be able to trust them, and it's starting to get annoying. You can't trust really any team here in Chicago at this time. So at this point, you just kind of got to look at it as, I don't know, hopefully a spot that you'll look, hopefully Ryan's door for somebody looks back at and goes, this is why you got to get rid of everybody.
Maybe a Christmas Day miracle, and they can start getting it turned around and go on a little bit of a streak and get
Christmas Day
back in the 7-8 seeds. So
do they play on Christmas Day again?
No, I doubt it.
I hope not. I know they used to play
back
in the D Rose days, but I really hope that they got away from that.
That's a long time removed, man.
We also had the Saints beating the Colts tonight, 34-7 in a Monday Night Football game. A game where the Saints kind of just dominated the whole way, and the Colts kind of looked like they had the whole season in a way where you just can't. No momentum.
From what I saw, it kind of looked like the Colts had kind of accepted the fate that they're not a playoff team, and they played like a team that had already been eliminated. I don't know if they're mathematically still in it. I don't know, but they're in a division with two teams that are hot right now in the Texans and the Titans. And from what I watched, the Colts just looked like a team with no fire tonight. It's hard to say that because New Orleans is such a tough place to play, but at the end of the day, like they just had no fight in them whatsoever. And they had TY back tonight. So I don't know, man, they just looked like a team without a country, a team without a purpose.
I understand we were a little disappointed with the Andrew Luck stuff, but Jacoby Brissett should be better than this. He has played better than this, and I don't know if it's just him or the defense or what's going on, but it's been a very disappointing season for the Colts, even with like I said, Jacoby Brissett having to take over in the preseason as Andrew Luck retired. But it's the Saints also kind of on a roll here into the playoffs. They said it's going to make the NFC more interesting with them being better. His name? The quarterback. Drew Brees. Yeah, he passes Peyton Manning tonight for the most TDs in NFL history. Tom Brady closing in on Peyton Manning also, so we'll see how their careers end there, who is the top. But I think any quarterback really right now is going to the TDs are at a rate right now where a Jameis Winston or something like that, it could even press for the record here. I don't think that these records will really hold on here. I think that with QBs, with more frequent touchdowns, I think Aaron Rodgers will end up breaking the record or something like that. Like I said, Peyton Manning had broken, and now it is Drew Brees. And at some point, I don't know who will retire first, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, or Tom Brady. So we'll see who ends up with that record. Like I said, I think that record will be broken multiple times over the next few years here, just because the frequent of the thing. But we have, like I said, the Saints, Colts, and Week 15 here. Unfortunately, we only have 2 more weeks here in the NFL season. And if you're a Bears fan, the season is over. So you're not looking at any Sundays unless, like I said, if we can knock the Vikings off in week 17, I will gladly take that W easily. Boomy, do you got a wacky web story for us here?
Of course I do. And this one is actually a little sports related, though. We talked on the past about Madison Bumgarner signing in Arizona, kind of a wild card team, I guess you could call it. I don't know about you, Zach, but I didn't really expect Madison Bumgarner to be a Diamondback at this point, to be completely honest. But an article on Yahoo says that there may be a kind of odd reason that he wound up in Arizona, and that is because that is the state where Madison Bumgarner houses all of his horses. Apparently, he was a big horse guy.
He isn't the guy that gave his wife a pet or a cow for their anniversary or something like that.
He's a different cat, man. And but they said that it's a very good possibility that him and his wife love it in Arizona, that they have stables there and they own horses. So there's a good possibility that owning horses and that being where their stables, that is the reason that Madison Bumgarner is now a Diamondback.
Yes,
That is one of the
downtown
weirdest
Chicago
free
cannot
agency stories I've
house
ever heard.
a bunch of cows or horses, so maybe
No,
that's why
they'd have to
the
do it out
White
here
Sox
at
were
like
out.
our house. They'd have to do it out here in our neck of the woods if they were going to do that.
Yeah.
You know, they'd have to commute from the south or the
If
north
that's
side
the
out
reason,
to
though,
out
I don't know
to
if I want him. I understand you love the horses and you love the farmland, but if that's the reason, I don't know if your mind's right for being on a good team, because I understand the Diamondbacks will be good, but I don't think I don't know. That's a weird story.
I agree. It's
That
a
is a
very weird
wacky
story.
web story for you from Boomy. You say a short little episode here. We're taping pretty late here.
Hey, shout out to the NIU men's basketball team. I know they didn't come up with a win. We talked on the podcast a lot about local, not local, but statewide college basketball teams and the success.
Stuck with them tonight.
Yep.
They
give them a run until the last 5 minutes of the game and then get shut out. They were tied at 50, lose 59-50. They're sitting at 6-5. But
Pat also messaged me about that, about how they were at one point I think up 4 and then ended up being shut out for the rest of the game there. So shout out to NIU for sticking with a team like Pittsburgh, a big D1 school like that. But thank you for watching us, listening to us here on the TCF Morning Show, Monday, December 17th. I've been joined by @BoomMeTCF on Twitter. I am Zach Lilia. You can follow me on Twitter @ZLilja, LILJA. TCF on Twitter @typical_Chicago is the main page on Twitter. If you want to find us on Instagram, it's @typicalChicagoFans, or on Facebook @typicalChicagoFans. We always post our show and the podcast on there. Like I said, go to Apple, Spotify, Spreaker, wherever you look at your podcast. We always post the audio here on the show for the people that cannot watch the YouTube page. We understand that. Thank you to our sponsor, The Money Otter. Go to themoneyotter.com. Go to their Facebook page or Instagram and check out some deals they got here. If you got some last-minute shopping, like I said, I think as of this show, there will be 8 days left until Christmas. That's just crazy to think about, 8 days left until Christmas. Right. I can't believe it. So if you had some last-minute shopping like me, go on to the Money Otter and get some stuff on there. Again, thank you to Boomy for joining me here on the TCF Morning Show. It's been Tuesday, December 17th. We love you all.
Peace.